Okay, so my research question is, does writing or speaking affirmations periodically in school, does it improve both student behavior and their academic performance in social studies? In social studies class, basically, that's my question. Does it improve? Does affirmation improve student behavior and academic performance? And so for my part three. That's my question. So, what I found basically from my research and from the student interviews and admin and teacher interviews is that the affirmations are effective if they are done with intention. Basically, if they're doing them with intention, if they're doing the practices, if there's some type of writing associated with it. So before I even did the project, I had the belief that verbal affirmations were more effective than written affirmation. But after doing my research, I have concluded that written affirmations are actually more effective than verbal affirmations. That written affirmations are more effective than verbal affirmations. And so it says, how does your action research address a structure, system, or policy in your classroom or school? My school does not have a policy right now as it pertains to affirmations. We really don't have any practices or requirements for SEL, social emotional learning. And so it goes against that. We only have 50 minutes. And the current structure is in the classroom is right to work. It's an I do, we do, you do. You get in, do your bell work, you do now, and you get right into the instruction because you only have 50 minutes. Basically, this practice of writing affirmations or doing an exercise to reflect on themselves, reflect on other people. This type of study actually it goes along. I would say it's more effective because you can actually put it inside of your do now or your bell work question basically. And so it won't take any time away, and it's a simple way for students to do a self-evaluation or a self-reflection upon themselves. So it goes against the structure because they want me straight academic, but I believe that the research shows that academic and social emotional learning they're actually equally important, and that if we focus on the social emotional learning just as much as we do the academic learning, I believe that we'll see the positive outcomes that we want to see in our students. So I believe that is the positive outcome when you have the social emotional learning paired with the academic learning. I believe that those two things can coexist. I believe that they are important. I believe that they are equal in that area. So how does your action research reflect your personal agency as an educator? I believe again that my personal agency is my belief that student achievement isn't just quantitative. It isn't just something that you can measure by grades. You have to measure it by a lot of different things. And I believe that if we want to have balanced students, I believe that both things have to be EQ and IQ have to be on the same level playing field. Yeah. So it says connect your way research to systemic change. In what ways does your research analyze a relationship between classroom policies and equitable student experience? So the research that I did from those articles and from the books I read was that basically you don't have to do affirmations every day. You can do them periodically. And so I just think that we have to have it. I believe that it needs to be required, basically, to improve the overall student experience, so the students aren't just feeling like they're just being taught a subject and that's it. But no, they are human beings who have feelings, and that these feelings can oftentimes cloud judgment, can cloud even your academic performance. It can cloud how you're able to study, how you're able to focus in class. But if I'm so focused on what I'm going through or what was going on at home, it can take away from my academic performance. So I believe that having those barriers, having those things, those bridges being built can allow students to succeed. So that's just what I believe. Yeah. So how does your research position you to advocate for systemic improvements? I only believe that it can be improved by data, and that you continue to do the research, continue to do the affirmations, continue to do the interviews, and just see what people are feeling. Because I just think that we're in this age where everything is so microwave, and everything is about technology and happening right now, that people struggle, students, especially kids, struggle with processing things. And that it's okay to process. It's okay to feel. It's okay to say, Mr. Dillon, I'm not having a good day today. I don't have anything to eat at home. My mom and dad are divorcing. I don't feel like doing any work. And you know what? I'm going to put my hands up and let you have a day, right? Maybe even a couple days, right? Because that's a human being at the end of the day. And I think it's insensitive to just make, students, force them to learn in that type of mental capacity, right? We know that life is lifing, and things will happen, but I think we have to show some more sensibility and sensitivity to all students. So it says plan actionable next steps. How do these steps? So my next steps are basically to do this again next year with more intention. I plan on having more documentation. I plan on allowing my, just basically allowing my research to speak for itself. So if I notice that students' grades are down, I need to do more affirmations about, achievement, more boosting up, more engagement, anything that's more engaging, to get them more alert in class, basically. So I believe for social studies, it's more of a engagement type thing, because history is so ancient that students it's hard for them to relate to the subject matter. But if I'm able to tie that in with, something that's current, something that's going on right now, or I'm able to tie it into social emotional learning about how certain kings, or how certain rulers were insensitive, or and how the rulers insensitive, or that who was insensitive towards the people, how the people rebelled against them, and how rules without relationship lead to rebellion, how that's played out through history, with all type of dictatorships, with all type of governments. So yeah, I could tie that into a lot of different things. What additional questions have been raised? I wish my question is, why can't affirmations be done in classrooms? Why isn't that a requirement in all school? Why is it not a requirement? Because I'm considered secondary, because social studies is not primary. Why can't affirmations be used for science, for STEM? Why can't it be used in ELA? And especially the writing component, because our students are writing, especially where I'm at, is really, really low. So why can't they be used on both sides? That's what I would argue. So how will you address questions or issues beyond your classroom to create broader systemic impact? I always tie things to life, in that, classroom is just a smaller part of life. It's just a smaller sample size of life, basically. How a student performs in the classroom isn't always how they're going to perform in life. How they take a test isn't how they're going to perform in life. You can take a test well, but not pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to manage emotional health and academic, because I believe that because I wasn't the best academic student. I was A, B, and sometimes C all throughout, middle school, high school. I was a B student in elementary. But anyway, I just don't think that you can quantify, or you can label a student just based upon academic alone. You have to have the social, because I know I have the number one student in my classroom was homeless. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to balance the two, because that's kind of jacked up. How can the valedictorian of my class, not even go to college, and I found out that the student is homeless and is seeking help? It's just things like that which really opened my mind up to education. Is it really, is our educational system really the greatest indicator of personal success? Really? What are we really doing? So my next steps is basically to I would advocate by, because I'm actually planning on going to another school next year. I'm actually I've been accepted to transfer to another school, and I plan to take this practice to my next school. I plan to do more SEL, lessons. I plan on doing them, and not just doing them just to be doing them, but using it as documentation to take to the school board, to provide them the data that shows that, hey, we need to have more SEL. We need to have mandatory affirmations in schools. We need to have an area where students can tune into their emotions and their social emotions, and have a place where they can vent, have a place where they can express themselves outside of the classroom. You know what I mean? So I think that it's very, very important.